From the Brendan Byrne Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey, TV3 Sports presents the 1982 New Jersey High School Basketball Championships. Tonight, the Bailey Ellard Bishops entertain the St. Augustine Hermits. Hello, everyone. I'm Matt Laughlin, and in tonight's parochial B-Boys final, we have teams of contrasting styles. Bailey Ellard, a very small team, will try to run with the ball and will try to pressure the game defensively. Meanwhile, the much taller team from St. Augustine down in Atlantic County, they'll try and run a pattern offense and hope to control the boards. And if they do, they feel they'll come away with the victory. Working with me on tonight's game, Herb Cohen, former head coach at Woodridge High School and now the assistant basketball coach at Stevens Institute of Technology. Herb, as we said, it's a game between teams of contrasting styles, and Bishop Bailey, despite their lack of height, is a tremendous team with 5 good ball players, but they're very small.
That they are, Matt. They start 5 seniors. They've had an excellent record over the last 2 years, and the type of game that they're going to have to play tonight is to make sure that they can get St. Augustine to run up and down the court with them from end to end.
Now, St. Augustine can play the transition game, but they don't want to get into a running game with the Bishops. They like to control the boards, and they've got the big horses up on the front line to be able to do that.
I would imagine that they would try and take advantage of that size advantage which they have. They go about 6'5", 6'4", 6'4" up front, with Bailey Ellard having perhaps no starter over 6'1" or 6'2". It should be a battle of who can control the tempo, and if St. Augustine can get the ball inside, they're going to be a tough team to be able to defeat tonight.
The man on whom this game may very well hinge plays for Bailey Ellard. He's Don Forster. If he can force his team to run, if he can control the tempo, and he is a player capable of doing so, his team may come away with the win. But if St. Augustine can control him, and St. Augustine will win.
St. Augustine has a hell of a job tonight trying to control Don Forster. He's averaging about 20 points a ball game. He was a backcourt man last year. They've pushed him up to the swing position this year. He can play tough inside. He has great mobility, great agility. I saw him the other night, and he is very difficult to stay with in a man-to-man situation.
And the man for St. Augustine, who is the key, is Steve Sicking, their 6'5" senior center.
And this fellow, from what we understand from all the coaches in South Jersey, is one of the better players down there. He is very tough inside. When they seem to be able to get him the ball, he's averaging about 15 points a game. I don't think Bailey Ellard has any one person that will be able to stay with him by himself.
This is Bailey Ellard's first appearance in any kind of state final in boys basketball. St. Augustine appeared in the state championship back in 1969. But in just a few moments, they'll battle it out for the 1982 title when we return to the Brendan Byrne Arena right after this. The crowd you hear in the background excited and waiting for the start of the boys' parochial B final from the Brendan Byrne Arena. Let's check the starting lineups for tonight's contest. First, for Bailey Ellard, the forwards Dan Florin and Don Forster. The center is Van Johnson. Everton Byfield and Herb Cotton are in the backcourt, and the coach in his 6th year is Muzz Lindsley. Meanwhile, for the Hermits from St. Augustine, Steve Capuzio and Virgil McClendon are the forwards. McClendon, the lone junior in the starting lineup. Steve Sicking is the center. Tony Romano and Chris Reed are the guards, and they are coached by Paul Rodeo in his 5th year at the helm of St. Augustine. Teams out on the floor waiting for the opening tap. Our officials for tonight's contest: on the left of your screen, Vince McKelvey, and to the right, Larry Ivan.
Matt, what a thrill this is for these kids to be here. They've worked all season. The first opportunity to play in the Meadowlands. Win or lose, both teams have to be happy.
Foster and Sicking will jump it up, and the taller Sicking controls the tap. Ball knocked away inside and stolen, but recaptured by the Hermits. You can see the quickness and the pressure defense of the Bishops applied. Down low, the turnaround is up and good by Steve Capuzio.
Nice turnaround move by Capuzio that time. Right away, they go after that height advantage.
Man-to-man defense employed by the Hermits. Byfield's jumper no good, and the ball's taken down by Capuzio. Tony Romano, smallest player on the floor for St. Augustine at 5'7", handles the ball. Here's McClendon. Last touch, they say, by McClendon, so Bailey Eller will have it. 7 minutes, 20 seconds left to play in the first quarter. We've got a long way to go. It's 2-0 in favor of St. Augustine.
St. Augustine starting out in a man-to-man defense, as did Bailey Ellard. It's very, very strange in high school ball to see both teams come out playing man.
Virgil McClendon picks up his first personal, and that is the first on the team. Off the inbound, this is Forster. A guard who has been transformed to a forward. Inside move is good.
Here comes that pressure. They're looking for it. Foster almost had that steal. They are a very, very quick club, and unless the Hermits can handle this pressure, I think Bailey Ellard will have the advantage, even though they have such a height disadvantage.
Well, the Bishops had a height disadvantage in the North Jersey final against St. Anthony's, the defending state champion from Jersey City. They came away with a 52-46 victory. Here's McClendon on the follow. (4-2), St. Augustine with the lead. So we said McClendon, the lone junior in the Hermit lineup. And now here's Sicking on the steal. Senior brings it across, takes it himself on the nice move, doesn't get the hoop. Van Johnson the other way. Foster has it knocked away and taken down by Capuzio. And here's a steal by Byfield. Foster.
Racehorse basketball at its best, and this seems to be the kind of game that Bailey Ellard would like to play.
Nice save by the Bishops, but we get a whistle and a foul charged against Steve Sicking. And here's a look at that last basket.
There's the steal. Notice the lob pass up to Forster. Good fake as the man goes by him and he lays it in. Foster's got all 4 points so far.
We are tied at 4. Sicking charged with his first personal, second on the team. Bailey Ellard, 26-3 on the year. 2 losses to Morristown and the other to Immaculate Conception out of Montclair. St. Augustine, meanwhile, 27-2 on the year. It's 2 losses by a total of 3 points, and here's a steal on the errant pass. You see the pattern offense for St. Augustine. They will take their time, set it up, and look for the good shot. Sicking short on the jumper, and Forster has the ball. And here comes Bailey Ellard, and that's their style. They may turn it over a little bit. This time they don't, as Forster goes flying. But they will try and run. Foster's all right, back on the floor. Crowd gives him a hand. And McClendon will be charged with his second personal.
What a great plus it is to have a guy like Foster who can start out as a forward and with 1 or 2 passes bring him right to the point and let him work one-on-one as he did just then.
St. Augustine makes a substitution. Dave Orlandini, number 24, checks into the ball game, replacing McClendon with those 2 personals. Nice pass inside. Florin connects.
Excellent pass.
Byfield credited with the assist, and again, the Bishops pressure. And it goes out of bounds, and again, the quickness, the defensive tenacity of the Bishops showing here as we look at Paul Rodeo, the head coach of St. Augustine. He can't like what he sees here. He sees his team in a 6-4 ball game, but they are not in control of things right now. It's not an easy or a good situation for the Hermits. Orlandini, new player in the ball game, has the rebound. Just a sophomore. Here's Sicking. And we get a foul before the shot, I believe. Will be charged to Van Johnson. They will say that it was not before the shot, or will they? No, they will say it's a 2-shot foul, so
Little confusion on the part of the players right now, but they did call it in the act of shooting.
Steve Sicking will go to the line to shoot 2. Sicking averaging 15 points per contest.
Senior has a very fluid release on his free throw shooting. He keeps his arm up there, he extends it and follows through very well.
A colleague of mine whom I went to school with has followed St. Augustine all year long, and he says there's not a better free throw shooting team around. 6-5 ball game. Bailey Ellard on top. 4 minutes even left to play in the first quarter.
St. Augustine has just changed defenses. They're in a 2-3 zone.
Tap up and good by Forster.
He may only be 5'11", but he can play with the biggest of them.
And here's a steal and a foul. Dave Orlandini charged with the foul. 4th on the Hermits.
St. Augustine's going to take a timeout. They've got to be able to slow this tempo down a little bit. They're playing right into the smaller Bishop's hands at this time.
And Bailey Ellard has a 3-point lead at 8-5. Don Forster has 6 of the 8 points. Dan Florin credited with the other basket. So you look at Muzz Lindsley speaking with his club. Both teams seated #1 in their section. As we look at some of the fans from Richland, which is where St. Augustine is located, and that's about 15 miles or so outside of Atlantic City. And they had a long way to go to see this game, but they are excited.
They sure are. They had a bit of a ride, but this is a happening for them. For any team to be able to work as hard as all high school teams do from November 15th on, this is the culmination of what every coach and player strives for.
Both teams have everything to be proud of all the small parochial schools in the state. These are the only 2 still playing basketball. Paul Rodeo in his 5th year at the helm of the Hermits, and he has been very successful. In the 2 years before he arrived at St. Augustine, the club was 2-20 in each season, and they have really taken off since then. In his first season, he was 13-10, and from there on in, it's been all gravy. Pass inside, knocked away, and the Hermits will maintain possession.
On the out-of-bounds, Bailey Ellard switches to a 2-3 zone. Many teams, both high school and college, are doing that these days.
Traveling violation called against Steve Capuzio. As I was saying earlier, both teams seated #1 in their section. #1 in South Jersey for St. Augustine, and Bailey Ellard was seated #1 in North Jersey. So the seedings hold up as both teams meeting here in the Parochial B final. Interestingly enough, both teams upset, or defeated teams, I should say, that they had lost to in last year's sectional final. And so revenge was sweet for both teams.
Absolutely, and by getting that revenge, they wind up right here in the Meadowlands.
Forster.
Can he play?
He's a tremendous ball player. Very, very quick and can leap. He can play the game very, very well. And another turnover charge against St. Augustine. And right now, things are going the way of the Bishops.
I'm not so sure too many people had heard of Don Forster before he came here. I have a feeling by the time he's through, people will remember his name among the best of them that played here this weekend.
Another substitution made by St. Augustine. Mike Spidell comes on, and sitting on the bench, Steve Capuzio. Here's Florin from the outside. He's playing with a bad ankle. Shot was short, and the rebound comes down to the Hermits. St. Augustine will substitute freely. They will play up to 10 players per game. Meanwhile, Bailey Ellard goes just about 6 feet. That's it. Spidell, or rather Orlandini, misses on the layup. Here's Orlandini in the corner. Nice pass inside, and Sicking misses the easy basket, follows it up, and is fouled. Herb Cotton charged with the foul. Just the second team foul on Bailey Ellard. Sicking will be at the line once again for 2.
Sicking missed that easy shot inside. However, that is the place that if the Hermits are going to get back into the ball game, they're going to have to rely on that inside shooting.
Sicking, a 70% free throw shooter during the course of the year, will have another. This is the second, and the rebound's taken down by Johnson, but it's stolen. Chris Reed steals it, and the Hermits have a chance to make it a 10-8 ball game. Reed puts it up from outside, and he's got it.
Nice jump shot by the 6'3" guard that the Hermits have right now. It's a luxury to have him come out and be able to play out front.
Byfield in the corner, Forster. Forster is watched by Orlandini, the best defensive ball player for the Hermits, and the shot is missed, and here come the Hermits with a chance to tie. Orlandini, just a sophomore. Foul, will it count? It would have, but it doesn't go in. Foul is called against Bailey Ellert's Dan Warren. And Orlandini will be at the line to shoot 2. Just a sophomore, saw a lot of action last year and just his freshman year. And has contributed quite a bit.
Got nice size for a sophomore and has averaged 7 points a game. So even coming off the bench, it's as if they have a 6th starter.
Seems that St. Augustine has trouble making the second free throw. They have hit the first 3 each time, and they've missed the second for the 3 times they have been to the line. 10-9 ball game. Back to a man-to-man for St. Augustine, a near steal. Cotton, here's Byfield, and we get a 3-second violation. And so for the first time in a while, St. Augustine has a chance to take the lead. 49 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Outlet pass, and here's Sicking all alone, has trouble with it, but puts it in.
You're going to beat the press. Sometimes you have to throw the home run pass, and when you got a kid like Sicking who can go up there and get him, it could be to a great advantage.
34 seconds left in the first quarter. 11-10, St. Augustine with the lead. Foster goes to Byfield. Everton Byfield working on Romano. Now here's Cotton, partially blocked. That was Sicking rejecting that shot. Here he is on the other end.
They want to pull it out and hold for one shot right now.
8 seconds left. Orlandini fakes, puts his man in the air. Off glass, no good. Ball tapped out to Romano with 2 seconds left. And we will end things in the first quarter with St. Augustine, after being frustrated by the much quicker Bailey Ellard Bishops, coming back in the latter portions of the 10 seconds. The Bishop, or the Bailey Ellard Bishop cheerleaders, entertaining the crowd between the first and second quarter. The Hermits did a fine job, Herb, of not allowing their frustration to get the best of them. They called a timeout, and they settled things down, and they came out and took a lead at the end of the first quarter. It appears that their height advantage is now starting to be a factor in the ballgame.
That's right, and just a note on the sophomore from St. Augustine, Dave Orlandini. It was obvious at the end of the quarter when they went back to man-to-man, the coach must have a great deal of faith in him. He put him right on Donnie Forster.
Foster scored 8 of his team's 10 points in the first quarter, and it appeared that when he did not go to the basket or did not look for the shot, his teammates appeared a little confused as to what they should do.
Well, for Bailey Ellard to be able to win, they're going to need more than just Donnie Forster.
This is Everton Byfield. Substitution, Brian Quinn came in at the start of the second quarter. He's wearing number 13 for Bailey Ellard. Here's Byfield's jumper. Everton Byfield has his first points in the game, and it's a 12-11 lead for Bailey Ellard. Here's Chris Reed, no good. Rebound taken down by Foster, and it's stolen, and a foul called on Forster.
Chris Reed, although about 6'3", seems to be very agile. Perhaps that's why they've had him playing in the backcourt. He was able to slap that ball away, almost converted a three-point play, but will go to the line for 2.
St. Augustine has gone to the line 6 times thus far for 6 shots. Meanwhile, Bailey Ellard has yet to make an appearance at the line. Chris Reed has 3 points, looking for his 4th. He makes them both, and it's a 1-point lead for the Hermits at 13-12. We get a foul as Byfield's basket counts, and I believe the foul is going to be called against St. Augustine. The basket will count. It was not, the foul was not on Byfield. We'll look at the replay, see if we can pick on the foul, pick up the foul.
Okay, there's Byfield, makes a nice spin move and goes up for the jumper. There it is, right underneath the basket.
Dave Orlandini elbowing Don Forster. Forster, as the Hermits are over the limit, will go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. 14-13, Bailey Ellard with a 1-point lead. 6 minutes, 52 seconds left to play in the first half. Orlandini takes it all the way, and the sophomore has 3 points.
I can see why he was playing as a freshman. He is very fluid, has an awful lot of poise out there for a 10th grader.
Byfield with a strong individual effort.
Little circus move on that one, but this is typical of Bailey Ellard. They get most of their points from Byfield and Forster, and if the other players can fulfill their role positions, then they can be in the ball game all the way.
Quinn grabs the rebound, and Bailey Ellard has a chance to take a 3-point lead. Here's Byfield. Quinn will take the jumper. Way off, right into Forster's hands. And we get a traveling violation on Forster.
Forster had great position that time. If he holds on to the basketball, he gets another deuce.
Bailey Ellard will apply pressure. Reed gets it to McClendon, who has come back into the ball game. Virgil McClendon goes to Capuzio. Here's Orlandini, and his way is cut off. Strong defense by Byfield. McClendon looking down low. Reed from outside. 6 points for Chris Reed, and St. Augustine is back in the lead.
Reed's a 13-point scorer over the course of the season, possesses a fine outside jump shot.
Foster's shot is good, despite the fact that it was partially blocked going up. He has 10 points. It's 18-17. Bishop have the lead. The Bishops have the lead. And we get a call going the other way. Dave Orlandini will be called for the offensive foul. Tony Romano will come back into the ball game, and he replaces Orlandini. (18-17). Bailey Ellard with the lead. Down low, nice pass to Johnson. Puts it up. Byfield has the rebound. Here's Forster, loses it off his foot to McClendon. McClendon 1-on-1 with Johnson. Nice move behind the back, and is fouled by Johnson. McClendon showing some speed of his own.
Interesting point about St. Augustine. They have 4 starters averaging double figures. I don't think they look for any one person, and they have confidence in all of their players.
McClendon makes the first. He has 3 points. And And in a seesaw battle, St. Augustine takes a 1-point lead. It was 11-10 after the first quarter, and with 4:45 left in the first half, it's 19-18. St. Augustine maintaining that 1-point lead. Foster has the ball blocked, but it goes right to Byfield. He misses it, gets his own rebound. Quinn's basket is no good, but he was fouled on the drive. Foul was called against Tony Romano, his first. So Brian Quinn will step to the line. Quinn, a 6-foot junior.
Both Forster and Byfield, one 5'11", the other 5'10", and they have to be the leading rebounders on their squad.
Despite their lack of size, Bailey Ellard, because of the leaping ability of their players, is not at much of a disadvantage. The strength of the taller players will hurt them, but their players can leap for those rebounds.
It'll also be interesting to see if the depth of St. Augustine will in fact wear them down in the fourth quarter.
They are a much deeper ball club, and the official blows the whistle. And it can't quite see what has occurred. What I think happened, as some of the people are looking up toward the roof of the Byrne Arena, something fell off. And wound up hitting the floor. You can see them looking and pointing to the ceiling here. That could unnerve a player.
Yeah, it could also unnerve the sports announcers as well. They better put a canopy up over us.
19-18, 1-point lead for St. Augustine. 4:14 left in the first half, and we'll be back to action.
Bailey Ellard has switched defenses as well, going into a 2-3 zone to give him a different look.
Chris Reed not affected by that look, though. He has 6 points here in the second quarter, 8 in the ball game, and it's a 3-point St. Augustine lead, under 4 minutes to play. Reminder that at halftime, our guest will be Ed Strohmeyer, veteran official, as Everton Byfield now has 8 points, all in the second quarter. Double teamed. Romano gets it ahead to Sicking. 3-on-2. Sicking takes it all the way. It goes.
Some of those statements that were made down South Jersey about him, as we look at the replay, going right through and laying the ball in, certainly have proven to be true.
As we come back to action, Chris Reed, when charging into Herb Cotton. So Reed will pick up his first personal, and Cotton will be at the line for a 1-and-1. Tom Atanasi, number 10, standing all alone on your screen, comes into the ball game for the Hermits. Cotton, a senior, 5'9", averaging just a shade over 5 points per ball game.
Very important free throws here. This is the contribution that the other 3 players from Bailey Ellard have to make if they're going to win the ball game.
Cotton misses the second, but the ball is chased in the corner by Florent. It's 23-21. Bailey Ellard with the ball, trailing by 2. The Hermits in their zone. Florent's jumper no good. Ball tapped around. Down low, Johnson shot no good. Foster inside. 12 points now for Don Forster.
They better get it up court quick. They're going to ring that 10.
Sicking, 3-on-2. Brings it outside as Bailey Ellard settles back into their defense. They have switched back to a man-to-man. Sicking fakes the outside shot, has the ball knocked away. Went up, saw a teammate open, and then elected to pass rather than shoot, and wasn't a real good pass. Nice pass down low, ball put up and in, and Don Forster has come alive in the last few minutes.
What tremendous body control underneath the basket, and great eyes by Byfield to get the ball to him.
2-point lead for Bailey Ellard at 25-23. Approaching the 2-minute mark. Down low, ball knocked away by Byfield. Forster has it, gets it ahead to Byfield. Bailey Ellard will try to run. Byfield puts up the jumper right into Florin's hands. His follow, no good. And Sicking at 6'5" has no problem getting the rebound that time. McClendon will take it all the way, but we get an offensive foul on Virgil McClendon.
This is Bailey Ellard pace right now. Before, when St. Augustine decided to slow the ball down, utilize their height, they were getting the advantage inside. There is no advantage if they're going to run up and down the court.
Checking into the ball game for the Hermits, Mike Spidell, number 22. And it looks like he has replaced Steve Capuzio. No, Capuzio's out on the floor. Did not pick up who the substitution was made for. We'll get that to you in just a second. Florin goes to Cotton. 1:26 left. Florin's outside jumper is good. Virgil McClendon is the player who checked out of the lineup for St. Augustine. Here's Sicking, toes it away.
Bailey Ellard is in the process right now of switching their pressure defenses from a 3-quarter, sometimes full, and then now they just brought it back to half court. Always trying to keep St. Augustine off balance.
Florin will try another jumper, and he can't it. Dan Florin is hot from the corner. He has 6 points. Biggest lead of the ball game at 29-23. Under 1 minute to play in the first half. 50 seconds showing on the clock. Chris Reed, guarded by Florin, goes inside, and Sicking picks it up, and a foul.
And there they go back to their original game plan, and that's where they can be very, very difficult to contend with.
Here's another look.
You have it on the replay. Reed throws the ball inside to Sicking, gets his hands on it, and just power moves right up to the basket, in for the basket, and a foul on the play.
Forster charged with the foul for Don Forster. That is his second personal. Sicking at the line, looking for his 9th point on the game, and he has it. And just that quickly, a 6-point deficit is cut to 3. 29-26, 40 seconds left. Now let's see if Bailey Ellard elects to hold for one. It looks like they will.
The Hermits are coming out of their zone, and they're going to play him man-to-man. Look for Mr. Foster or Mr. Byfield to do their thing when the time comes down near the end of the half.
Florin with the ball right now. 23 seconds showing on the clock. Forster telling his teammate to clear it out for himself. He's guarded by Capuzio. 15 seconds left. Now with 10, they'll have to make their move. Cotton with 7. They're way outside. Here's Florin in the corner with 4. Ball's taken down by Spidell, and that's how things will end here in the first half. We have completed 16 minutes of basketball, and our score at the half, Bailey Ellard 29, St. Augustine 26. We'll be back with the halftime show right after this. Our halftime guest, Ed Strohmeyer, and our viewers may be familiar with Ed's face because he is a veteran official both on the high school level and on the ECAC college level. And Ed, thanks for joining us at halftime, and your thoughts on the first half of basketball.
Okay, I was very impressed with the intensity that both teams showed. I think this game is going right down to the wire.
It certainly could, and it's interesting the matchup, and Herb and I have mentioned it, between the speed and the lack of height, actually, of Bailey Ellard and the pattern offense and the height advantage that the team from St. Augustine has. But let's talk a little bit about officiating and the state playoffs being here at the arena. It's got to be a thrill for an official to be able to do a state championship game when we wind down to the final 2 teams in their respective groupings. And just your thoughts on the fact that the playoffs are here and you're officiating at a state championship game.
Sure. I think for any official in New Jersey, this has to be the highlight of their high school season. It has gone from Atlantic City Convention Hall to Princeton to, I think it was Brookdale Community, but I think this is the epitome of the best facility in New Jersey, and certainly I'm looking forward to it myself.
Is there anything special about this game that you would have to prepare for in a state-level game? They're liking, and they caught up, took a lead, but they couldn't hold it.
2 interesting points, Matt. Number 1, Donnie Forster from Bailey Ellard, is shooting right now 7 for 8 from the field. Just had an outstanding first half. Number 2, the reason that St. Augustine has been able to get back in the ball game has been the difference in the free throws. Bailey Ellard shot 1 for 5 in the first half. St. Augustine 8 for 11.
That certainly has been a factor. The Hermits, an excellent free throw shooting team. Leading scorers in the ball game in the first half. Forster had 14 points on 7 of 8 from the field. Everton Byfield had 8, Dan Florin 6, and 1 point for Herb Cotton. Meanwhile, for the Hermits, 9 points by Steve Sicking, 8 by Chris Reed, and 4 by McClendon, 2 by Capuzio, 3 by Orlandini.
Forster once again starting off the second half like he did the first, and there's that pressure taking its toll.
Here's Forster. Florin, jumper, good. Florin with 8 points, and again, Bailey Ellard will pressure the Hermits. Here's Sicking. Capuzio, inside it goes, and first 2 points put up by Bob Nealis. Nealis saw no action in the first half. He's a 6'5" junior. Has started things here in the second half. Has his first 2 points. First 2 points in the second half for the Hermits. It's 33-28. Sicking, and they say he stepped on the line on the fast break.
Sicking did a great job coming up to block that shot by Florin at the last minute.
Right in front of us, ball will be inbounded by Florin, goes to Byfield. Florin and Forster are the forwards. The center is Van Johnson. Byfield and Herb Cotton are the guards, as the rebound's taken down by Sicking. For the Hermits, Tony Romano and Chris Reed are the guards. Down low, as we set the forwards, the shot is good by Nealis. Nealis and Capuzio are the guards. Sicking is the center, and Nealis has 4 points.
Where was he in the first half?
Sitting on the bench. His 6'5" frame gives the Hermits just an additional height advantage. Ball thrown away down low. Muzz Lindsley pacing the sideline. He's up and down constantly.
Muzz looks like he's been through a war.
You might say that coaching this team and the pressure they create and the intensity they play with is akin to a war.
Absolutely, and I think Muzz goes through it along with the kids.
We get a foul away from the ball. I think Byfield was charged with the foul, and he was. For Byfield, that is his first on the team in the second half. 6 minutes left to play in the third quarter. 3-point lead for Bailey Ellard. This is a big team in the ball game now for the Hermits. 6'3" guard and a 5'7" guard, and they go 6'5", 6'5", and 6'3" up front. There's a jumper that is good, and now we get a whistle as Florin appears to have re-injured his left ankle. He had that protected in the first half, and he took off that soft cast and has injured it, as Vito Racine, who is the trainer for these games, and a great trainer Vito is, out of Sayreville High School, checks out Florin. Florin says, I'm okay.
If Danny Florin can't go, that's going to really put a cramp into what the Bishops are trying to do. Florin, I think, came through with a very quiet 8 to 10 points so far in the ball game, and where everything seems to be Forster and Byfield, Florin has really helped the cause.
We get a foul called against Sicking. Away from the ball, Steve Sicking picks up his second personal foul, first on the Hermits. Florin has gone out of the ball game, and Mike Scully, a 5'10" senior, has come on. Here's a steal by Sicking. Romano in front of his bench. Inside it goes. Here's Nealis. No good rebound. Tapped around. Comes down to Forster. Forster on Reed. One-on-one. Pulls up. Rebound cleared by Nealis. Only the second miss by Forster from the field. Pass break the other way. And Romano can't come up with it. Here's Cotton. And now things will slow down because Bailey Ellard has called for a time. Leading by a point, the Bishops sensed once again that they weren't playing under control. They play a controlled, fast game. They don't play
well against the pressure defense and look to get it inside. Just doesn't seem like Bailey Ellard can cope with it. But when they decide, when St. Augustine decides to run up and down the court, I really think Bailey Ellard is licking their chops. They see what they have, and they're going to be able to win the ball game if that continues.
For Bailey Ellard, as we look at the coach, Muzz Lindsley, this is their first trip to a final in basketball. As we mentioned earlier, the Hermits made one appearance, and that was a successful trip back in 1969 when a championship was contested on the parochial C level. C and B levels were combined into just the B, and since then they've been to the South Jersey final, but this is the first time they've advanced since it's gone to the B setup. Steve Capuzio has 6 points now. It's 35-34, 1-point lead for Bailey Ellard. Here's Herb Cotton from the corner, no good. And again, the two 6'5" players converge for the rebound, Sicking and Nealis. Reed goes to Nealis, spins inside, doesn't get the roll, tap up, no good. Capuzio on the bank. And the Hermits have taken a lead, 36-35.
That height is really starting to pay dividends right now. They're getting 2-3 shots at the basket. I wonder just how tired Bailey Ellard may be.
Byfield, watched by Romano. Here's Cotton all alone, puts up the jumper, it's good. Herb Cotton has 3 points, and the Bishops take a 1-point lead.
St. Augustine is looking to double up on both Byfield and Forster, and guys like Cotton are going to have to make those jump shots that are uncontested.
Cotton guarding Romano, goes to Sicking. Man-to-man defense by Bailey Ellard. Capuzio takes a jump shot from way outside. I don't believe that was a shot that they wanted to take.
No, not at all. They can look for much easier stuff inside.
Cotton trying to back his way in, or rather Forster. He does, puts up the short jumper.
Oh, is he sweet? What a great move inside.
He has all the tools, 18 points for Forster. And again, hiding in a way at the forward position. Sure, he'll make some college coach happy as a guard. Down the other way, Romano picks up his first points of the ball game. It's 39-38. Here's Byfield. Scully. As I look to the bench, I see Florin lacing up his sneakers. Perhaps we'll see him come back into the ball game, bad ankle and all, as Byfield connects from the corner. He has 12 points.
Looks like this game may go right down to the wire. Both teams playing exceptionally well under the pressure.
Reed is fouled as he puts up the shot. Byfield charged with the foul, his second. Two players come on as we take a look at Dave Orlandini. He and Virgil McClendon have come on. Capuzio and Romano have checked out of the ball game for the Hermits. Reed will be at the line shooting 2.
It's been a long time since we've seen Orlandini. He picked up 3 quick fouls when he was in the ball game in the second quarter, and at the time he was doing a very nice job of handling the offense.
He and McClendon are playing with 3 personals. Reed makes 1 of 2. He has 9 points. It's a 2-point lead for the Bishops of Bailey Ellard, and they have the basketball. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left to play in the third quarter. This is the boys' Parochial B final from the Brendan Byrne Arena. Byfield takes a bad shot. Ball comes down to Orlandini. Sophomore brings it across with the left-hand dribble. Here's Reed. He'll put it up from way outside.
No question about that one. He was looking for the ball and just pulled up his foot, ready to cock that shot as soon as he touched it.
Here's another look. Hands it from way outside, and we are tied at 41. Byfield, watched by Orlandini. Here's Forster down low. Doesn't get it. Look at him get the rebound. Blocked from behind by Nealis, but a foul is called against Bob Nealis, and Forster did an excellent job of following up his shot.
Yes, he did, and I have a feeling we're seeing a Division I candidate out here on the floor this evening, and not just underneath the basket. He's able to handle himself very well in the parochial B League, but he has all the tools to be able to become a fine point guard for a major division college.
Don Forster making his second trip to the free throw line. We'll have another. Florin has come back onto the floor for Bailey Ellard, and Scully has gone out. Florin has put that soft cast back on his left ankle, and we'll see how much that affects his play. Seems to be limping just a bit. 42-41. The Bishops on top. Orlandini hits nothing but net.
Doesn't seem to have any pressure for a sophomore.
5 points for Orlandini. And St. Augustine takes a 1-point lead. Near steal by Reed. Here's Cotton. Byfield between the legs, puts up the short jumper. And Byfield and Forster are proving to be an outstanding tandem. 44-43, 1-point lead for the Bishops. It'll count as Orlandini fouls Everton Byfield. And that's the 4th personal foul on Dave Orlandini.
And that play brought all the fans from Bailey Ellard to their feet. We certainly have a 1-2 punch between these two young men.
Orlandini will come out of the ball game. Steve Capuzio comes back on. Everton Byfield will be at the free throw line looking to complete the 3-point play. He has 16 points. Don Forster has 19. Byfield listed at 5'10". He makes the 3-point play, and it is a 47-43 Bailey Ellard lead. 42 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. McClendon outside, it goes to Romano. Here's Capuzio. He can hit from there.
You called it. He has a nice soft touch on his jump shot. During the course of the season, he also averaged 15 points a game along with Sicking.
He has 10 points, 8 here in the 3rd quarter. 17 seconds left. Here's Florin working with that bad left ankle. Forster. Look for either Forster or Byfield to take the last shot. It'll be Forster. 21 points for Don Forster. 2 seconds left. McClendon's jumper is no good. And play has ended here in the 3rd quarter. Bailey Ellard leading by 4, 49-45. We'll be back for the 4th quarter right after this. Site of all 10 New Jersey High School Basketball Championships, 6 boys, 4 girls titles. And we are in the Parochial B boys final between St. Augustine and Bailey Ellard. This is the Hermits of St. Augustine with the ball. McClendon's jumper, no good. Capuzio has the rebound. Here's Reed from the corner. Chris Reed has 13 points. It's a 49-47 ball game.
We're in the midst of just a tremendous championship game. You couldn't have asked for any more excitement between these two clubs.
Byfield on the follow is no good, and the rebound comes down to Capuzio. And now we get a foul called on Florin. Dan Florin picks up his 2nd, the 3rd on the Bishops here in the 2nd half. Both clubs experienced as we look at Muzz Lindsley, and as we said earlier, he lives and dies with his team. Both teams experienced. 4 seniors in the starting lineup for St. Augustine. 5 seniors start for Bailey Ellard. Here's Reed, puts up the jumper. No good. Forster has it. We will have an official timeout because Everton Byfield collapsed across the way in a heap, and he appears to have injured his ankle. Vito Racine is checking him over, and it was bad enough for the Bishops' effort that Dan Florin went out and is playing on a bad left ankle, but Everton Byfield, who has scored 17 points, has been very, very important also, and they cannot afford to lose him. Some of the fans who have come on to see tonight's ball game. There's a good crowd on hand. Of course, this arena does seat some 20,000 fans. Those are some of the Bailey Ellard fans, but with 20,000 seats, you could have 10,000 people here. It'd still be half full.
Right, and what a tremendous job the state has done for high school basketball by bringing the finals to Brendan Byrne Arena.
Some more games to come your way over TV3 from this arena. The girls Group 1 matchup. Jim Wise and Karen Fusello on the call. You can catch all that action later on tonight as Morris Catholic and Gloucester Catholic, two undefeated girls teams, battle it out for the girls Group 1 title. Gloucester Catholic with the state's longest winning streak in history at 52 games. Byfield has come out of the ball game. Mike Scully has come back on. Byfield is being looked at by Vito Racine. He wants to come back into the ball game.
With Byfield on the sidelines, watch Forster go to the backcourt now and do a lot more ball handling.
Chris Reed has picked up his second personal foul. 49-47. Bailey Ellard on top by 2. Here's Forster in the corner. Johnson. Outside it comes to Florin. Bailey Ellard much more deliberate in its attack here. Florin inside loses the handle. Sicking, however, will be called for the foul. Paul Rodeo, 50-year head coach for the Hermits. Sees his team trailing by 2. Love to see them take the lead. Florin will have another. Florin averaging 10 points per ball game, has scored 8. Make that 9 in this ball game. And Herb, as you mentioned, you can have your stars, but you've got to have the players to fill the other roles of hustling and diving for the ball and playing just good, solid basketball, and Dan Florin's that kind of a player.
Absolutely.
We get a foul on the rebound. Capuzio fouls Forster. First on Capuzio. However, the Hermits are over the limit, so Forster will go to the line. He has scored 21 points.
Right now, with Byfield on the sidelines, Forster becomes the main man on both ends of the court. He's been here before. He's been through all the tough ones. This is his last game, and I'm sure in the next 6 minutes, he's going to put on a show for the fans.
Tony Romano takes a seat on the bench. Dave Orlandini has come on, replacing the senior. Forster on the line for 1-1. Forster scored 8 points in the first quarter, 6 in the second, 7 in the third.
Pretty consistent.
This is the second end of the 1-1. He has 22 points. It's 51-47, a 4-point lead. Sicking. Outside it goes to Reed. And we get a foul called on Forster. Fouling Sicking. Forster picks up hit down in Richland, which is located in Atlantic County. They came up last night. They had a 2-hour-plus trip to come up here. They did not want to do it on the day of the game. They stayed at a local hotel last night. Appear to be well rested. Trailing, however, by 4. Chris Reed will inbound underneath the basket. Six minutes even left to go in the fourth quarter. 6 points has been the biggest margin in this contest. Don't go away. It's going to be close throughout. You get a foul down low, and it will be called against Dan Florin. That's his third, and a player will go to the line for a 1-1. I believe it will be Steve Sicking. Sicking had 9 points in the first half. Herb was held scoreless in the third quarter.
I was just going to say, we haven't heard too much from Sicking, but right now he has a chance to get him back within a deuce.
Forster gets the rebound off the miss. Bailey Eller looking to open up a 6-point lead to match their highest. During that timeout, Everton Byfield came back into the ball game. So Bailey Ellard has 5 players on the floor, 3 of whom are truly healthy. 2 are playing with bad ankles. Here's Forster, knocked away by Sicking. Right into the hands of Byfield. Cotton will put up the banker. And now Herb Cotton off his sneaker and will be looked at by Vito Racine. Orlandini with the ball, knocked away by Byfield.
Still plenty of time left.
6-point deficit the Hermits are working against, though. Inside, McClendon doesn't get it. Ball tapped around. McClendon puts up the follow. No good. Tapped around again, and it's taken down by Forster. Forster's always around the ball. Byfield in front of his bench. Bullets a pass to Florin.
The Hermits need a timeout, Matt.
And they will call a timeout as we're
Third person right now, and he's got them all back in the ball game.
Herb Cotton, as you can see in the background, is being taped up, and he may come right back in at any moment. Back to action. Capuzio. Here's Orlandini. The Hermits need a basket here. Reed on the turnaround, no good. Capuzio on the follow is fouled, and he will shoot 2 shots. Ryan Quinn is charged with the foul. Steve Capuzio, with 10 points this evening, will have 2 shots.
This is a great opportunity right now for the Hermits to get back in the ball game without the clock running.
4:25 showing on the scoreboard clock. Capuzio makes them both. It's 55-49. And now the Hermits will press. Forster works his way up the sideline, breaks the press. 3-on-1. Has it knocked away from behind. Here come the Hermits, and now it's restolen. Restolen by Sicking. Ball on the floor. Who wants it? It's Orlandini. Sophomore moves in, puts up the banker.
What a great move by the sophomore!
Dave Orlandini has 7 points. It's 55-51. Timeout call for by Bailey Ellard.
Here we go on the screen. Look at the sophomore pick up the ball right now. He's going to take it all the way himself, but the best is yet to come. Gets it down low, gets Bailey Ellard off their feet, and that young man's in 10th grade.
And he is making Paul Rodeo lost late in the season by a point to Camden Catholic. That's our score, 55-51. Bailey Ellard will inbound the basketball. Everton Byfield will do the inbounding as the Hermits will press. Here's Forster. Here's the man they want to have with the ball. Moves in on Sicking. Doesn't get it. Rebound by Van Johnson. Has it knocked away, and it comes down to Capuzio. And we get a foul called. It will be called on Van Johnson. Capuzio will be at the line for a 1-and-1, and Herb Cotton can't put his right sneaker on any more quickly than he's trying to. Muzz Lindsley wants to get him back in the lineup.
For St. Augustine, you've got to like the fact that Capuzio is on the line right now. He's an 85% free throw shooter on the year.
He'll have the bonus. He is 3 for 3 from the line this evening. 55-52, 3:46 left to play in the 4th quarter. In and out. Van Johnson has the rebound, and he is called for traveling. So on the turnover, the Hermits will have the ball.
Crucial turnover underneath the Hermits basket. Very big inbound play right now.
Reed will inbound. Goes for Sicking, almost knocked away. Here's Orlandini. Sicking on the turnaround. It's a 1-point game.
And here comes pressure by the Hermits as well.
Man all alone down the court is Johnson, and he's fouled.
Oh, boy. What a poor choice of fouls right there.
Steve Sicking fouled Johnson. Johnson was all alone. Sicking could have let him go and put the basket in. Instead, tried to block it, fouled him. Johnson made the basket, and Johnson scores his first 2 points of the ball game, Herb, and he's looking to complete the three-point play. Senior misses it. Ball's tapped around, comes down to Orlandini. 57-54, 3:23 left to go. Capuzio, no good. Johnson skies for the rebound. Forster races it across, goes to Byfield. Byfield puts up the bank, and he gets the roll. 19 points for Everton Byfield. Orlandini inside Sicking. Here's that last basket by Byfield as we're back to a three-point ball game.
Nice pass across the way. Up and off the boards, watch it roll around and in.
Back to action. This is Quinn in the corner. Outside it goes Forster, goes to Byfield. Byfield has a lane and gets the roll again.
The little guard's getting every bounce right now. Still plenty of time left.
2:27. And now we get a foul outside called against Dan Florin. That is his fourth. 61-56.
Going to try and take the air out of the ball a little bit and keep it in the hands of either Byfield or Forster and let them spread the court out and let those two magicians do their thing.
Orlandini was fouled before the timeout, and he will have the bonus of the 1-and-1. Sophomore has scored 8 points. If he makes this, his team will be within 3. Doesn't get it. Sicking inside with the rebound follow.
Johnson fell down. Sicking came around him. We now have a 2-point ball game.
And now Sicking picks up the foul. And as I look at my unofficial scorecard and look up at the board now where it is official, Steve Sicking has just fouled out of the ball game. And he will leave the ball game scoring 15 points. But more than his point production, he will also take with him his leadership and his 6'5" body. And the only advantage to that Paul Rodeo season now is that he can bring in another 6'5" player, but I think he'd rather have the senior out there. Sicking in his last high school ball game, fouls out scoring 15 points.
That happens to be his average on the season as well.
And here's the last basket of his high school career.
We just caught the tail end of it. He had gone right around as Cotton had fallen down.
Down the other way, Johnson for the 1-and-1 misses it, and Nealis, the player who replaced Sicking, gets the rebound. Chance to tie for St. Augustine. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left to play in the fourth quarter. Romano. Inside it goes to Nealis, and Nealis is fouled by Forster. And for Don Forster, that is his fourth.
That could prove very costly.
On the line will be Bob Nealis. Nealis will have another. 61-60. And it's a tie ball game. One minute, 40 seconds left to play. Bailey Ellard with the ball. Here's Byfield. 2-point lead for the Bishops, 63-61.
Oh! Welcome to the NBA. Neither team feeling the pressure right now.
63 all with 1:19 left. Forster goes to Byfield.
They may try and look to score too soon. If I were them, I'd hold the ball out right now.
Byfield with some room along the baseline. Has it blocked by Nealis. Ball on the floor, and we get a jump ball. Jump ball with 56 seconds left. .63 all, jump ball. Tension here, you could cut it with a knife. Tap controlled by St. Augustine. 53 seconds left, and they call for time. So a timeout is called. And let's see what will happen as the teams will go to the bench for some instruction. This team, the Hermits, will have the basketball. Tie ball game, 63-63. An MVP will be awarded at the end of this ball game. It may very well be whoever hits the last shot. Let's listen to Paul Rodeo. 5th year for Rodeo at St. Augustine. That's the story, 63-63. And let's see what the Hermits do.
Bailey Ellert's playing a man-to-man right now. They've got to front all the cutters down low.
Orlandini has it knocked away from behind, but he's fouled. Here's a look at the foul, and let's see.
Watch the cut through the lane. Orlandini gets it down low. Gets fouled from in front. The block from behind was good. The foul was from the man in front of him.
That was Brian Quinn as Orlandini makes the first. 64-63, 35 seconds left. Makes them both. 65-63. 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Florin will take it. Oh! Not the man you would expect to do it. Cans the corner jumper. It's tied at 65 with 11 seconds left. Capuzio doesn't get the roll. Johnson with the rebound with 5. And we might see OT as Forster hoisted at the buzzer. Oh! Ellard, the shot from the corner by Florin is no good. But we get a foul called on Tony Romano. And Van Johnson will step to the line for a 1-and-1.
What an exciting ball game we have right now. First overtime period. We're going to the foul line. Very, very crucial free throws to get off to a good start.
Doesn't get it, and the ball is taken down by Capuzio. 3-minute overtime will be played. Of course, if we're tied after that, we'll play another.
Bailey Ellard still playing their man-to-man defense. Watch for Orlandini. The sophomore has very, very good poise.
Chris Reed, the senior, however, opens up a 2-point lead. This is Everton Byfield. Herb Cotton, of course, went down, one of the starters, with an injury to his ankle earlier. He has not come back on, despite the fact that He was taped up. He may come back in if absolutely necessary, but the Bishops have gone without one of their starters. Byfield and Florin are also playing with bad ankles.
And Forster's playing with 4 fouls as well, so they're in trouble.
Foul called against Tony Romano. And Romano was replaced in the lineup by Virgil McClendon. Everton Byfield will be at the line for 2 shots. 1 minute 59 seconds left in overtime. You'll have another. They have not gone to the line all that much, the Bishops, but they have not been very successful from the line when they have.
No, and I think the difference in the ball game right now is from the foul line.
Misses them both. Capuzio with the ball and his team leading by 2. The Hermits don't have to rush anything. They're in the driver's seat leading by 2. Backdoor play for Reed. He's fouled by Quinn. Either Quinn or Byfield. Both went up, but the foul will be called against Brian Quinn. And here's a look at that beautiful backdoor, Herb.
Just got the pass off, going behind, runs his man off a screen and goes up very strong and was fouled on the shot.
And Chris Reed will be at the line shooting 2. As opposed to the Bishops, which they've been having their problems from the line. St. Augustine has been very good from the free throw strike. Reed makes them both. He has 19 points, and it's a 4-point lead.
And the overtime belongs to Chris Reed right now.
A minute 37 left. Here's Florin's jumper. No good. Ball comes down to McClendon. They score here. It will be tough for Bailey Ellard. Right now, most of the players for the Bishops have been out on the floor as we get a turnover charge against Orlandini. So that's a break for Bailey Ellard. A reminder that Bailey Ellard has not substituted all that much, and perhaps the long, tough ball game is beginning to show.
Bailey Ellard has to put the ball into Foster's hands right now. Since the Hermits have gone to the zone, Foster has not been able to touch it. He just got his hands on it now. He's going to have to do something.
Scored 21 points through the 3rd quarter, has 22, held to 1 point in the 4th quarter. Byfield has it knocked away but recovers, and we will have a jump ball between Everton Byfield and Chris Reed. Paul Rodeo has unbuttoned his vest. It'll be a long bus ride home either way. He'd like to make it an enjoyable one. Muzz Lindsley has a shorter ride, but he just wants it to be a ride home with the winning team. Tap is controlled by the Hermits.
That's going to be a very big play. Watch that clock run down.
54 seconds showing on the board. Byfield watches Orlandini. McClendon, he won't take that shot. They'll bring it outside. Spidell. Orlandini with 40 seconds left.
Bailey Ellard's got a foul. They got to give up one right now to stop the clock.
33 seconds left. Orlandini almost loses it. Gets it back with 28. It may be too late if they don't foul shortly. And now we get the foul. Perhaps, though, a little too late. Byfield fouls the player with 22 seconds left, but Chris Reed will be at the line, and I don't know whether the officials offered a 1-and-1 or 2. They did say 2.
Two-shot foul. Quite interesting was the fact that the jump ball which preceded this was done with 1 minute and 1 second left. And for 39 seconds, St. Augustine was able to hold on to the ball.
Chris Reed, who has scored his team's 4 points in overtime, misses it. Ball comes down to Forster.
It's got to be quick right now.
Forster puts it up. Doesn't get the roll. And the rebound comes down to Capuzio, and that might do it.
This one is history, Matt. I guarantee it.
Orlandini with 8 seconds. And he is fouled by Florin with 6. 2-shot foul. Dave Orlandini will be at the line, and the Hermits on the sideline explode in jubilation. Coaches trying to calm them down. Coaches are never happy, Herb, are they, until the buzzer sounds. They don't think the wind's in the pocket at all.
You got it. You want to see that clock at 0-0, and then you can say, I think we won.
4 players for the Hermits drop back on defense. I don't know, Herb, whether or not Dave Orlandini takes those foul shots with no one at the side.
At this stage, I think they're more concerned with their other players on the lane not getting any silly fouls. They get them away from the action. If they go in, fine, and if not, that's all right too. They want the clock to run.
This game is all over. Orlandini will have another. Makes them both. The sophomore has 12 points, and this ball game will go in the books as a win for St. Augustine. Here's Byfield. He'll take it all the way. Doesn't get the roll. The shot does not go in at the buzzer, and that's it. St. Augustine has captured the boys' Parochial B championship in overtime. 71-65 the final. We'll be back with some post-game thoughts right after this.
Right here in River City. Here's the capital T that rhymes with P, that stands for pool. We surely got trouble.
Time. St. Augustine Prep defeating Bailey Eller 71-65, and the game really excited the fans here at the Brendan Byrne Arena. We have with us the MVP of the game, Don Forster, and I'm sure you'll agree he played a whale of a ball game, though in a losing cause. And we'll also speak with Paul Rodeo, the victorious head coach. And Don, it's got to be mixed emotions at this point. Your team lost, yet you won the MVP. Your thoughts on the ball game? It was a whale of a game, as we mentioned.
Well, we thought that we could press them in the first half. They were big, and we thought that we were much quicker than they were. We had them rattled there in the first half, but in the second half, they handled the press really well, and I think that's what won the ball game for them.
All year long, though, you played against taller opponents, so you had to feel confident, as you mentioned, coming in. It was a great year for Bailey Ellard, wasn't it?
Right. All year long, we played against teams that were much big enough. We thought that we would be the most quick team every time we played on the court. And we had to box out and do a real good job. We had a fine season at 26-4.
All right, well, congratulations on that great season. 22 points tonight. I'm sure you will see you in college somewhere next year. Congratulations, Don Foster. And he did play a whale of a ball game. I use that adjective often, but it certainly applies in this case. And now, Paul Rodeo, congratulations. First appearance for you as a coach here in the state championship, just the second for the school. It's got to be a wonderful feeling.
Tremendous feeling. I can't express how good I feel. I think we got a tremendous following from our fans from down south. We played a really good basketball game when we were down by a few points and used our heads to come back and against a good basketball team. This team was quick. They boxed out. They did all the fundamentals well. It was just a good basketball game.
It seemed to me that their speed only really affected you just a little bit in the first quarter. Then you called a timeout when they took a lead. They did manage to get a lead of up to 8 points at one point, but the speed didn't really have much of an effect, it seemed, after the first quarter.
Like they've played against big teams all season, we've played against quick teams all season. I think it took us a little time to adapt to the floor, the size, and their quickness, but after a few timeouts and after the first quarter, we adjusted well, and the kids gave a heck of an effort, and that was the difference.
Well, congratulations on the win. It's a long ride home, but I'm sure it'll be a joyful one.
Very good. It's a long wait till next season, but it's going to be a good one. Thank you very much.
Paul Rodeo, the coach of the victorious St. Augustine Prep team, congratulations. And Herb, you'll just step in. Thank you very much. Have a safe trip home, Coach. Herb, it was a heck of a ball game.
Certainly was, Matt. I think in the two guests that you've had following the ball game, it kind of tells the story of the game. The outstanding player in the entire ball game was Donnie Foster from Bailey Ellard. He's going to be a great player in college. And yet, if you had to try and pick someone from the winning club, I don't think it's that easy. They certainly played a team ball game all the way through, and in the end, I think it was their overall balance that became the determining factor.
The final score, once again, 71-65, as St. Augustine comes away with the boys' Parochial B Championship. For Herb Cohen, I'm Matt Laughlin. Thanks for joining us. Good night from the Brendan Byrne Arena.